Hi, I'm Max Walker&Williams, and today we are at Beer Brothers Brewery, the 3Bs here in Preston, Lancashire. We'll come to meet the guys and find out a little bit more about how you make the beer. Let's go. Okay, so we're inside now, guys, and I'm with the gents. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Phil Leyland. I'm the founder and head brewer here at Beer Brothers.
Okay.
I'm Dan, and I'm one of the brewers.
And I'm Matt, and I'm the barman.
Hi, gents, you okay?
We're good, thank you.
Good. So, tell us a little bit about the history. So, is it actually brothers? Because obviously that's in the...
No, that's a bit of a myth, is the brothers.
Is it?
It's more... we found brothers in beer kind of thing.
Okay, right, okay. It's a brotherhood, if you like. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
right. And what does that represent? What does it stand for? What does your business and what does it stand for to you?
It's all about the team that we put together.
Okay.
You know, it's about being a close-knit team and working very closely together and producing the best quality beer that we possibly can.
Okay. Same for you, gents, or?
I mean, you know, it's more bespoke. We're trying to... I mean, we brew such a wide variety of beers that accommodate for so many different people. Like We've got your cask ales through to your kegs, your lagers through to your stouts.
So, sorry, because I'm not too au fait with the differences. So what are the differences of those three different? You said they're the keg and
this one.
Go on then, Matt.
Okay, so your cask beer is generally done on hand pulls, which are generally cellar chilled, not carbonated apart from the carbon that they create themselves in the barrel.
Okay, so those are the silver barrels that people probably see in the men move around really heavy. Yeah, okay, so we've got silver barrels with a pipe.
A lot of people are using plastic ones now because they're just a bit more...
easier to sort of...
lighter.
Yeah, makes sense.
Especially when you're shifting 40 a day.
Yeah.
Does that affect the taste at all? Have you found that with the plastic versus the metal, you can't tell the difference?
No
difference.
There's no quality difference.
No, there were a lot of issues when they first started manufacturing the plastic ones because there's a big seam that runs along the middle and there were quite a few splitting where the keystones go in when they first started doing them.
Okay, so you've got these taps which are connected via pipes to barrels, plastic or metal, whichever.
Yeah.
And then what was the other two you mentioned?
So we've got keg, which is your chilled and carbonated.
Okay, so keg is carbonated, so it's fizzy.
Yeah, generally what you get in a normal pub where if you see your Foster's pump and stuff like that.
So this stuff up here, so it's been carbonated, it's fizzy, so like Carling and that sort of beers, if you like. Yeah, what I would consider a beer, a pint of beer, yeah. Okay, and the third one?
Yeah, the different styles that we do from lagers to stouts.
Right, okay. What's the difference between a lager and a stout? I'm sorry, I'm coming into this blind. I have no idea the difference between a lager and a stout.
So stout is typically what people see as a Guinness.
Right, okay.
Heavy, like roasted malts.
Okay.
And your lager is light, dry, crisp.
Okay, got it. Right. So John Smith's, Guinness, and all that sort of stuff. Your heavier, sort of darker, thicker stuff, and then you sort of roast dinners, and then your golden lights. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. That's great.
It's also part of the process as well when you're brewing and you're fermenting. It does depend on that process, depending on what you get. Lagering is actually a term for storing beer chilled for an amount of time until you get a certain flavour profile. Right, okay. And it's actually a chemical change in the beer. You remove a certain taste or an ester, and that then means that the beer is lagered.
Wow, so not only can you alter the ingredients that go into the beer, but also the length of time that you allow that to sit can vary. So there's a load of different variants, isn't there, on how you can get to different flavours?
Yes, so many variants.
Almost infinite.
Yes.
Like an infinite different designs.
Yes.
The slightest change can make such a difference as well.
Wow.
So if you lager for a week, I mean, typically speaking, we try 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks.
Even from 6 to 8, it
changes completely.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say then that that there's so many flavours that have never been tasted. Presumably there'll be a mix that's never been done.
I doubt it by now because it's one of the oldest trades.
Fair.
But that's why you have so much diversity in between, and how you can have so many breweries doing different things is because there is so many different flavour profiles.
Yeah.
So not everyone's lager, even though they follow the same step, will be the same. Because like Dan said, the little pinch points that you meet, someone will do them slightly different, so it gives you a completely different profile. Right,
so you might have the same ingredients, but it's 2 weeks instead of 6. Or
a bit like music, where there's a set notes, but there's millions of different variations.
Of course, Okay, that's a good analogy.
It's the same with where you are as well. Like the water, you can make such
hard water, soft water.
Hard water, soft water. The amount of minerals that are in that makes up the water. Which the water profile alters from country to town. There's so many different
almost like down to street and your pipes and you could how much you go down into the detail. Even the same location could change over time with the water changing over time.
Yes, it does. We constantly have our water tested so that we get an accurate profile. And then we adjust the salts that we put into the actual liquor.
You actually get the water tested that's coming into the building to make sure that it stays consistent.
So we have it tested as a raw product as it comes into the building, and then we have it tested again once we've heated it in the HLT, so that we know what the proportion of salts is that we need for each brew. Because
that's amazing. So you guys are leaving nothing to chance. You guys are you're not messing about. This is
we try not to.
But you know what I mean, though. Like you're leaving nothing to chance. Like you're guaranteeing that the whole process remains so people know what they're getting when they buy it.
The aim is when you're making a product over and over is to get consistency. But there is so many variables.
Of course,
every batch will be different because we're a small batch firm. But we try our hardest to get each batch to be as similar as possible.
When you say you're a small batch firm, do you mean that you limit the number of batches that you'll do of any one product?
It's basically the volume that we produce each time.
Right, so we only produce... So it's not the longevity of the flavour, it's how many you can do at once?
So we only produce 1,600 litres of every batch, every time.
Right, give me an idea, what's Heineken doing? So I've got some relevance of...
Heineken will be doing thousands of litres per batch. Where we are classified as a 10 barrel plant, they will be classified as a 100 barrel or above. Way out of.
So 10 to 100 times bigger production, everything, churning it out. Right, okay. And I guess there's pluses and minuses to both.
There is. I mean, they will get consistency easier because they have
the volume,
and it's a more automated system. Where we're still very much, it's all done by hand. We're still involved in the temperature control and everything. Nothing's automated here. The only thing that we have automated is the fermenting.
Right. Okay.
So when it's chilling, we can regulate the temperature while we're not here. But that is about.
And is that by design, or is that something you're going to be working to? What's the goal? If we came back in 5 years' time. Do we walk in and the whole thing's run by robots, or?
No, I think you'll lose. I hope not. No, I think when you're this size and you're around, the 10 and above barrel, you need to keep a certain amount of, being in touch with what you're producing. If it's all automated, then it's just a generic product. Like I said, there's so many variants. It can be that we take another 2 minutes to do something. Can slightly alter it.
Even the temperature on the day can affect.
Atmosphere. The atmosphere, humidity and stuff like that can affect.
Wow.
Because with the grain being dried out the way it is quite susceptible to atmospheric and to changes and things, because it will absorb moisture just out of the atmosphere.
Of course, and that will then affect the flavour at the end. That's amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? You don't realise that all this goes into.
There's so much you've got to think about on a brew day. Because you've got to account for heat loss, heat gain. So if it's a boiling hot day, then the tanks will be a couple of degrees, the actual steel will be a couple of degrees higher, so you won't lose as much temperature when you're taking over the initial water.
And you've got to allow for all these different variants.
You've got to allow for everything, and that's where...
It reminds me of being in chemistry in school, and allowing for all these different variants in an experiment. It's allowing for it.
And that's where you get the inconsistencies in small batch or the slight changes, is because you've got all these different differentials that you're doing over a very, very small amount of liquid.
And do you still experiment and dabble? Like, do you say, let's just let this one, instead of being 8 weeks, let's just take a small sample of it and let it go to 9 weeks and see what happens?
All the time.
All the
time, yeah.
All the time. I mean, we have what we consider our core.
Yeah.
And then we have our specials. And our specials are really where we like to just basically go wild, if you would, and just do what we want to do, maybe not keep within the realms of what we do for the core, because it doesn't matter, they're a one batch only, and they're a special. Right. And it allows you to learn and also take back some of what you found out from there and apply it back to the core range to improve what you're doing on them.
Brilliant. And what's your background, Phil? So when did this start? Why? How? All that sort of stuff.
So this really started as homebrew.
Right. Okay.
We really did start.
Really like.
Yeah.
Literally out of a shed.
So me and our other founder member, who's no longer working here with us now. Yeah. He started on a pot and pan kitchen side. I joined him, and we just
got out of hand.
We were making kind of really, really good beer, and it all kind of started from a lack of anything we wanted to drink when we went to the pub. It was all very generic stuff, you either had your lager or your bitter, but we wanted something a bit more interesting, like a continental beer or something like that, but they weren't widely available on the bar like they are now. So it just grew and grew and grew from there. You start handing it out to family, friends of friends, and the feedback was great. So we decided to take it a little bit more.
So literally,
serious.
it was a hobby, and then,
it came straight from a hobby.
Created your own demand, effectively.
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good. Some of the best businesses in the world have been based around that. People doing it for themselves. And so, can I buy one? And then somebody else going, can I buy one? And a friend of a friend, and so on and so forth. That's how it grows, isn't it? Yeah. That's amazing, that. And the reason it's good is because you have that organic grassroots support behind you. Yeah. And then,
Yeah, so it has been totally organic, our growth, and it's all been, all of our growth is to meet the demand. It's not that we've grown and then created the demand. It's always because we've had the demand to need to grow. So we went from pot and pan on the kitchen side, making a mess, to actually fabricating out of bigger pans and stuff like that and gas burners what was a nano commercial brewery. Quite ropey, don't get me wrong.
Bit of a moonshine-esque kind of thing going on.
It was in a corner of another industrial unit, all looking not above board, but it produced some really, really good beer. And that's kind of where we harnessed our skills. Learned a lot. So we spent 2.5 years doing that until we outgrew again that kit.
So you really honed your craft in this sort of makeshift.
And again, at that stage it was a lot of kind of wing it, see how it went. The science wasn't as important when you're on that scale. Because every batch didn't matter. It was so small. We produced 100 litres, which was like 2 barrels and maybe 20 bottles or something like that. Everything was done by hand, the bottling, the casking, everything was just kind of a large homebrew. But it was selling, and we were in demand, and so we went out for investment, and so that we could buy actually proper produced and build a bigger brewery.
Brilliant. Good. That's amazing. Okay, can we have a look around?
Yeah, please do.
Right? Yeah, I'll have to follow you. So we're obviously stood in a bar right now, and this isn't just like this is not a movie set.
No.
This is a fully functioning pub.
It is, yeah. So
I mean, you don't get much closer to the source, except for swimming in the tanks themselves. This is about as close as you can get to the source, isn't it? Sitting next to where they're made. Yeah. So how long has this always been? How long's this been in?
So we've had a tap room now for about 3 years. This is kind of newly developed, the tap room. It used to be a dual space where on a Friday we'd wash down, move all the brewing equipment and everything, and then put like benches out in here. People would just sit intermingled in brewing equipment, sloshing about in liquid and stuff. But it worked, and it really showed that even though we are nowhere near anywhere with no footfall at all, people still keep turning up and want to drink at the actual source of where everything's made.
That's amazing.
So during lockdown we decided, while everything was short, we'd take the opportunity that we'd actually revamp and have a designated tap room brewery, and that's kind of the area that you see now.
And I bet it looks amazing when all the candles are lit and everything, because you've got all this metal, everything reflecting, and I bet it's quite nice. I bet it's quite a nice atmosphere.
Keep it quite ambient, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
It's a really nice atmosphere. As the sun goes down, it becomes nice and warm. And, really inviting atmosphere.
Nice. And you don't just sell your own stuff. It's a proper bar, isn't it? It's fully stocked.
Yeah. The function, it's not just beer. I mean, I know we're a microbrewery. You're coming to drink in a microbrewery tap room, but we do cater for everyone.
So you've got gins, and you've got, because gin's a big fad at the minute, isn't it?
Massively. So we have lots of craft, small batch gins, ciders, soft drinks, coffees, and a large amounts of beer.
Yes, of course. Okay, so this is the bar. What else have we got? Let's keep exploring.
So if you come further around here, you can actually come to the bar whenever you want. You can come into the building, and we have our own shop.
When you say whenever you want, what time's the bar?
The bar opens.
You don't go rocking up a 8:15, like banging on the shutter. So
if someone's on site, you can come to the shop, basically.
Right, okay.
But we are open for the tap room Thursday through to Sunday.
Okay.
We always open around midday.
Right.
Through till either 9, 10 o'clock at night.
I'll put a link. Is it on your website?
It is. Everything's on our website.
I'll put a link to the website in the description below, and then if you're interested in coming visiting, you can click the link, follow it through to the website, and have a look at the opening times.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So, and you've got a shop.
We have, yeah. It's still in development, our shop. So this is it up to now.
Okay.
So you can come and you can buy anything direct from ourselves.
Yeah, and take it off site.
You can take it off site. You don't have to drink it here.
Perfect.
And if you can't make it here, you can actually buy everything online as well.
Oh, brilliant! So you've got e-commerce on your website.
Yes.
And you
we
can
have.
actually buy it and deliver it.
You can buy it. We can deliver nationwide.
Nationwide, yeah. Outside of the country.
Not yet, but we are working on that.
Right. Okay.
But not quite yet.
Right, but it's coming.
It is, yeah.
Right. The beer is coming. Okay, so what have we got in here? What's this one, Mr. Beast?
So the Beast is a collaboration that we did with the world's strongest man, Eddie Hall. Yeah,
because he trains locally, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. He sometimes trains in Preston. He is from Stoke himself,
right?
But he does come up to Preston quite often. And while he was here training, we kind of captured him and showed him what we could do.
Right, what a great collaboration, and what a very cool can that is. Do you do ones that are sort of like limited edition runs or collectibles or anything like that?
We do limited edition and small runs. We haven't actually got any in. We are very excited. We're hoping one does come in today.
Right, okay.
Because it gets packaged off-site.
Right, okay.
So
you don't see it until it literally gets delivered and then you get to see it?
No, it's obviously, it's really like Christmas for us. Every time the wagon pulls up, it's like Christmas Day. Honestly, it's absolutely fantastic.
Up against the window.
That's it.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, at the moment, we're packaging off-site.
Yeah.
Mainly because of space and also development. Everything that we've done here, bar the initial investment, the rest of the investment that's been put into the place has been done organically. So, it's everything out of the profits is bought.
So every time you make a few quid, you put it back in?
We do, yeah. So, I'll show you the fermenting area. So if you come this way, this is the brewing equipment.
Okay.
And this is...
So this is where the magic happens?
It is.
Right,
yeah.
okay. So I have absolutely no idea what any of this does. So, just give us a brief kind of like where we start and where we end.
Yeah, so I'll give you a condensed version of what we would do on a brewery tour.
Okay.
And what basically a brew day is.
So people can come and have a tour and
they can, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay, that's
so
exciting.
We do two different things. We do a brewery tour, which is basically just like me, just like this, where I'll talk you through what we do as a brew day, but we also are going to be offering a new thing, which is come be the brewer for the day.
Oh, wow.
So, it's not all glamour. There is a certain proportion of cleaning to be done while you're here.
Yeah, right,
but
okay.
You spend 8 hours with us and you actually make a brew, and then from that actual batch, we'll send you the beer that you've made.
Wow, what a present that would be. So Christmas is coming up. If somebody's interested in this, got a bit of a home brew going and wanted to make their own sort of on a bit of a bigger scale and do it professionally, they can actually come and learn the process and have a go themselves. And at the end of it, they've actually got something to show for it.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
What an amazing gift. So
a normal brew day actually starts the day before brew day.
Right, okay.
I know it sounds very strange, but we've got to fill this tank here, which is known as a HLT, a hot liquor tank.
Hot liquor tank.
Which is basically a big immersion tank with a lot of hot tap water in it.
Right, okay.
That's all it is. It's just straight water that we've heated.
Hollanders you see, it's a giant one of them basically.
Yeah, it's just a giant immersion heater. It takes about 8 hours to heat the water to the point where we need it.
Right, okay.
So we put it on the night before. When we come in, say 7 a.m, it's ready for us to brew.
Roughly what temperature?
We're looking anywhere from 75 to 79 degrees C.
Okay, so not nowhere near boiling, but warm.
Very warm.
Yeah.
And why we've got different temperatures, it all depends on how hot we want the mash to be, which is the next stage here.
Okay.
And also how cold it is in here.
Right.
As winter goes deeper and colder, we actually increase the temperature here because the steel's so cold.
Of course.
Like I said to you before, there's so many differentials.
It
extracts the heat.
Wow.
So you've got to account for that.
Yeah, okay. So we switched this on last night. We've come in this morning. It's good to go.
Come in this morning.
Okay.
This morning's like a bit of a gym session. So you will have 10 to 15 bags of grain on a pallet here.
Nice.
And you will run them all, bag by bag, 25 kilos, up them stairs, and you start tipping them in here.
Wow, okay. Right.
So we fill this about half full with water.
Yeah.
It will be, once it transferred into here and you've put all of your grain into here, it will be between 65 and 68 degrees C, depending on how sweet, depending on what style of beer you're actually doing.
Okay.
So once it's in there, it sits in there for about 60 minutes to 90 minutes, again, depending on recipe.
Yes.
And then what we now need to do is separate the grain and the liquid.
Right, okay.
So the liquid has come from liquor, it is now wort.
Right, okay.
We transfer it through this little tank here and we pump it all the way over into this tank.
Right.
Which is where we boil, sterilise, and
so the grain's
add the
hops. And the water's in here.
Yeah,
right, okay.
So that's, after we transferred all the liquid, we've then got spent grain.
Right, okay.
So while we're waiting for this to reach temperature, we've got the fun now of removing all of the wet, hot, spent grain out of here. Yeah. So we get a large container and we basically shovel 500 kilos into that container.
Yes.
And then that actually goes off for cattle feed.
Oh, wow.
So it's come from an English field and it goes back to an English field, basically.
Amazing. And do you sell that to the farmer?
No, we donate it to the farmer. The only thing that we ask is he transports it.
Right, so he comes and picks it up and he takes it away.
Yeah.
So you haven't got the mess and expense of trying to get rid of it and he gets free cattle feed?
That's it. It's a bulker for his cattle feed, so it works perfectly for both of us, really.
That's so nice. And it's like that's a recycling at its best, isn't it? It
is
back
really,
to where it came from.
Yeah, it's a full cycle.
It helps the cycle repeat.
It does.
So that's now gone, that's clean.
Yeah, we've cleaned that, and now this is at temperature, and that's at the point where you alter the flavour profile probably the most. Okay. So you start adding hops into here.
Okay.
We use pelletized hops so that we get the most out of the...
What's that, sorry?
Pelletized. So you can either use full leaf, which is in its original form, as in like a little flour.
Okay.
Or you can use pelletized, where it's been ground and pelleted like a tablet, if you would.
Okay.
The surface area is greater because it's been pelletized, so you get a better uptake.
Right, okay, fine.
And so once you've added your hops in here and you've boiled for around an hour, you're now ready to take it over to where we produce the alcohol and you ferment it. Okay, should we go over? Yeah. Brilliant. So how does it get from there? Does it So from there, we actually have to cool it now. So we're still at 100 degrees C in there. Okay. But by the time we get it to any one of these vessels, we now need it around 28 degrees C, ready to pitch the yeast. Okay. So it goes through the heat exchanger, which mains water goes one way. Yeah. The hot beer goes the other way. Right. It takes the heat out, puts it in the water, and then we actually capture that water again into the HLT. Oh, cool. So if we're brewing day after day after day, we reduce our energy consumption by actually grabbing the hot water through osmosis. So the hot beer heats up the water, which goes back to the tank to be heated, and then we reuse it. So it's heat recovery. Yeah. So again, we're trying to reduce the amount of energy we use. That's one of the ways that we do it. Amazing. So we soft pipe it from the equipment there into any one of these fermenting vessels. Okay. Not one of them specific for doing each beer. It just depends which one's free If it's free, it gets filled.
Okay.
These are all refrigerated as well. So they're a triple skin. You have your inner skin, like a refrigerated layer insulation, and then your nice shiny exterior.
Right, okay.
So while you're fermenting the beer, we need to keep it regulated, because as it ferments and the yeast produces alcohol, it has an exothermic reaction which heats the liquid.
Right, okay.
And we need to keep it around the 20 degree C mark.
Okay.
And that's the level of automation I was talking about before. This is the only place where we automate anything.
Okay.
Is that...
So it remains consistent when you're not here,
It
basically.
does, yeah.
Okay, fine.
So it'll be in the tank from anywhere to 7 to 14 days fermenting. And then we transfer it into a different tank to condition it. So we take it off the yeast and condition it for another 7 days. And from there, that's where we'll carbonate it, and you will actually be able to package it from there.
And then consume it.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So if you want to try some of the fermenting beer right now, Dan will...
I do. But before I do that, I just noticed one of the doors open. Can we have a quick look inside? Can I have a look in?
Yes, of course you can.
Is there anything to, is it just, it's worth having a quick
So this is one that's empty and clean at the minute.
Right, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, cool. Have a look in there, Bill.
So each tank holds around 2,000 to 2,200 litres.
Right.
You need the extra headspace. So we only brew 1,600 litres, but you need the extra headspace for the expansion.
For the pressure. Yeah, of course. Because otherwise it could crack or blow,
Yeah, you get a cruising on top of the beer.
Right.
Like a skin.
Right,
and that rises, you see.
Right,
so you need some headspace in there to allow for that, else it would be all over the floor.
Right, okay. All right, Phil, well, I think we're going to try some now with Dan.
Yeah, I'll hand over to Dan.
Yeah, here he comes.
Rightio, which one are we? So we've got at the moment in tank number 1, we've got Czech Pilsner.
Yeah.
Which is a 4% lager.
Dealer's choice. You know which head. You know which. Give me the two extremes of like.
Right. Okay. I'll go for tank 3. We've got a. Sorry.
Of course you can.
So in tank 3 we have gold, which is a traditional golden ale.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Usually we set on cask.
Okay.
And tank 4 we have True Brit, which is our best bitter.
True Brit.
Another English hopped.
Okay.
Amber ale. So I'll give you.
Right. Well, let's try those two then. Yeah. Okay. So let's try the blonde.
Yep.
And then, which other one do you think?
We'll go for tank 2.
What's in tank 2?
So it's a new one. We've done a 1,000 litre batch of a sour.
So it's only half full. It's a little tester, is it? A little tester batch?
It's one of our limited releases. We tend to do them half batches, just so we can basically turn them around quicker. And
this is the one you were talking about earlier, and you were saying you've been trying to convince Phil for ages.
Yeah.
To do a sour.
Yeah. So I've been asking him for about 2 years. Because
so you finally wore him down.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it's the beer's called Has Anyone Seen Melba?
Right. Okay.
So it's
is there a story behind that?
Absolutely no story at all. I just thought it sounded cool.
Well, so it's quite a random. Right. Okay. Has anyone seen Melba?
Yes. So it's based on a peach Melba.
Right. Okay.
So it's at the moment it's. Well, when it's finished, it will have peach and raspberries added to it.
Right. Okay.
And so it's brewed like an ale, with a special yeast that produces citric acid.
Right.
Sorry, lactic acid.
Lactic acid, and that gives it the sour.
And it gives you more. It lowers the pH, so you get more of a like zing, more of a sourness to it.
Okay, cool.
So I'll give you a try of the gold.
That sounds amazing. This is exciting, isn't it? The whole room goes quiet. The anticipation's not too. I don't even want to see.
Oh, no problem.
But, yeah, no, that's great.
So it is. It's still got a little haze to it.
Yeah,
and it will be flat at the moment.
So do I need to let it sit, or is it?
We've only had it on cooling. So when the beer's finished fermenting, we drop it down to 0 degrees, so it naturally lets all the sediment drop to the bottom. So which gives you a naturally clear beer. That's only been on cooling for a few days now, so there's still a lot of yeast in
really
suspension.
Nice, really is. I was just saying that. That's really refreshing. Yeah, it's very light and it's nice. Really nice.
It's very reminiscent of like an English pub.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got that pub taste.
Yeah, I've just finished a game of cricket and yeah. It's Sunday. It's sunny. And Sunday roast is going to be ready soon. And I'm having a pint of this. Okay, there's the other one.
We've got the other extreme. So with this one, it's not
so
quite...
This is your mad invention?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It's not quite finished fermenting, so it'll still be a little bit sweeter than what it should be.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, when this is finished, we're going to crash the temperature down to 0, again, let all the sediment drop to the bottom, and we're going to transfer it into tank 5 at the very end. In tank 5, there's going to be raspberry and peach puree, so we're going to basically push the beer through the fruit and we should get like a nice like red tinge to the colour and take all that fruity
and give it a little fruity edge as well.
Yeah.
So with a bit of temperature then, it suspends everything, and then when you drop the temperature, everything it separates by weight.
Yeah, so this one will be 20 degrees at the moment. Okay. It might have a little sparkle to it just because it's still fermenting.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you can see the
so it is one extreme to the other.
Yeah, that really is. Look at this is much more like an apple juice, like a natural.
Yeah.
It's quite, it's different, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I think most people that I speak to sours about 50-50 whether they actually like them or not.
I do, but it's making my mouth water a little bit. It's actually making my teeth water. Yeah. I don't think I could. Being honest, I like it, and I would actually have a pint of that. I don't think I could drink loads of it.
No, you start to feel it in your mouth.
Yeah. You couldn't have 3 or 4 pints of that. I don't know. I couldn't.
No, I think a schooner is probably.
It smells different as well. What's the smell?
It's quite peachy. It gives off like the esters in the yeast give off quite a peachy like profile and like quite lemony as well. That
smells a lot more normal, if you like, of beer, but that one's a bit different. Yeah, it's like almost like a fruit juice. Yeah. Wow. So there you have it.
So come probably Monday now. So in 4 days we'll push it through the fruit and.
Oh, amazing.
It should become the beer that it's supposed to be.
We'll find out if you're mad or not.
Well.
So Phil, I've just tried some of the fantastic beers that you have with Dan. And he was saying that he's this experimental one that he's doing, 1,000 litres, experiment. It's going to be ready in a couple of days. So what happens next? In a couple of days' time, what's the next step in the process?
So in a couple of days' time, it'll have been pushed through the fruit, and it's where we consider it ready for packaging.
Yeah.
At that point, we will remove half of the batch again, and we will put it into a large bag inside a very large plastic container, which is called an Arlington, and that'll actually go up to Cumbria to be processed into small packs, so 500 milliliter cans.
Right.
We don't currently can on site just yet.
That's something you're looking to do?
It is something that we're looking to do. We want to bring as much as possible in-house because we get better control. We can speed up how fast we can release our special beers and stuff.
Quality control, price, the whole thing.
Everything. It brings everything here. It also means that we can extend our employment as well. So to run the canning line, we're obviously going to need more staff. It allows us to take more local people in and, give them a job.
Grow the business.
Exactly. And it does. It grows the whole business.
Amazing. I have absolutely no idea. What's the can costing? What's the can thingy machine cost?
Canning line, to get all of the setup that we need here, we're probably looking between 80 and 100,000 of investment that we will be looking to. It is. So where we can buy like an extra fermenter or the chiller or something out of the profits and reinvest it. Trying to reinvest 100,000 in one lump is quite a lot.
The length of time normally it would take is it becomes a false economy, doesn't it?
Yes.
You'd be better off borrowing the money, and then what you save sort of offsets the cost of the borrowing in the first place.
Exactly. So we will be looking at going out for finance or going out for investment to put the next stage of Beer Brothers into practice.
Brilliant. Good luck with that.
But so the big container, it's gone off to Cumbria.
How long has it gone for?
It's around 21 days.
Wow.
Because they then chill it again, they make sure that it's ready for processing, they carbonate it, they can it, and then it travels 2 hours back to us.
Right, okay.
So it takes about 21 days for that process.
And how much of those 21 days is because you don't do it in-house? Is it like, it would take 19 anyway? Or
no, the 21 days is all because we don't do it in-house.
Wow, okay.
So if we did it in-house, we would take the cans off and then we'd keg the rest.
21 minutes, okay, fine. Okay.
So when I talk about...
It's not a process, it's not part of the course, it's just that because it's 2 hours away.
It is,
Okay, fine.
That's their process that takes 21 days.
Okay.
Where on the same day that we've sent that up to them, the remaining liquid that's in the conditioner, we will carbonate, and then we'll process it into 30-litre kegs, so that we can sell them out to wholesale pubs and bars
and you can do that
around the country.
You do that in-house?
We do all kegging ourselves in-house.
Right. Okay. Fine. Oh, well, that's good. So you're doing half of the thing. You're on your way.
We process all the larger vessels here, but we just don't have the facility, as we've explained, yet to do the cans.
Okay, cool. Right. Okay. So it's amazing, isn't it? And I had no idea that there was so much like technical knowledge and chemistry, basically.
There is a lot of chemistry behind.
Yeah, of course there is.
Behind what we do.
Okay, so we know where you've come from. We know where you are today. 5 years, 10 years. What's the dream? What's the plan?
5 years, 10 years. It's about bringing our processes in-house, so we'll be able to can ourselves. Again, that's an experience that we can offer to people that wouldn't know how that kind of process goes on, so that's another experience that we can offer. Further down the line, we basically want to repeat what we've got here in smaller scales all around the country.
Wow.
So we are
satellite.
Yes, so smaller brewing equipment.
What's the thinking?
It's about making your own demand, and it's about being able to keep our product in the best condition and display it in the best way possible, because we're controlling how it's displayed and how it's served.
That's amazing. So what an interesting concept. So rather than because old school thinking would be, we want to buy a 100,000 square foot warehouse, we want to go as big as possible, and you're saying actually no, there's a way to scale this, but keeping it small and local.
There is, yeah. I mean, the majority of the beer obviously will be made here, because this is the mothership kind of idea. But every satellite that we would have a smaller brewing kit in, and it would do its own specials for that particular bar. Amazing. So it's also then it's not becoming a chain. Each place, although it follows the same blueprint,
cells are the same body, but
it has a different function. So if darker ales sell better in one place, they'll concentrate on dark.
And are they a franchise, or are they part of your?
At the minute, we wouldn't think about franchising. It's just not something I've thought of. They would be part of the original business. Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. I had absolutely no idea there was so much that went into the beer that we drink. It's been really, really interesting, and I highly recommend, if you're interested in this sort of industry and you want to learn more, definitely click the link in the description below, and that'll take you through to Phil's website. Through there, you can you book yet for the tours?
You can book for brewery tours. You can't currently book just now for the brewery. Be the brewer for the day, but that will be coming very soon.
In time for Christmas?
It will be, I am
keep
looking
at guys. Keep
releasing that for December.
So if there is somebody that you think that would be the amazing Christmas present for, and I can think of 2 people right now that would love to do that, and I'm actually going to hold off now buying them Christmas presents, and keep checking back on the website, and you'll be able to book that amazing experience for them. And if you do want to sample any of these amazing beers for yourself, you can buy those again through the e-commerce website that Phil's got at Beer Brothers. Thank you ever so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Really, really interesting.
Been great to meet you.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks ever so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you found it as informative as I found it fun to make. Bill and I have had a great time today. It really is genuinely interesting, and you should come along if you know a brother, dad, mum, whatever who wants to experience this. It's definitely worth looking at. I think I'm going to ring the office and tell them that my car's broken down and just get absolutely lashed.